Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final match of the Red versus Blue Cyber League 2022 Invitational. I'm your host, Clint Bodungen, and with me is my usual co-host, Simon Linstead, and our guest co-host again, Eric Taylor. What's up, guys?
What is going on, gentlemen?
Super excited. Got the popcorn ready. Hope everyone else has as well.
Got the popcorn. All right, guys. So today we have a special match between, and hold on real quick. It looks like I'm going to let you guys talk about the match real quick, talk about the competitors. We have just a slight technical issue on Jerry's end that I might have to tend to real quick. So I'm going to let you guys discuss the match, and I'll be right back.
No worries. Well, let me kick off because Eric's the more technical one. So for those of you who are watching who don't know, if you want to find out more about or play this game, it's ThreatGEN.com. And if you want to see more about the 2022 Invitational, how the event's gone so far, it's eSports.ThreatGEN.com. And Eric, do you want to give an overview of the players?
Yeah, so we definitely have, this is the final round of the Red versus Blue team. For those who are just joining it, have you been living under a rock through this thing? It's been a lot of upsets and, turnovers this game, a lot of unexpected surprises and wins by the competitors that were not favored to win by any means. But we definitely have Dr. Gerald Auger, PhD, that is playing the blue team again against Ken Underwood, who is going to be the red team. Again, if you've been living under a rock, this is a eSports game where it is a turn by turn, where you have a red team that's trying to penetrate into a network, while the blue team is actively simultaneously trying to defend against these type of attacks.
And would you say, Eric, seeing as Jerry kind of works with ThreatGEN, do you think that gives him an advantage in this final, or do you think it's completely wide open?
You would think that ideally that this would give Jerry a definite leg up in this type of situation. But if you ever watched Jerry's gameplays before, he does do a lot of squirrelish moves where he'll get into a network and be like squirrel and go over here. So as he's doing blue team,
popcorn,
as these user or as he gets into these networks, it's going to be very, very key that he stays targeted, he stays on point, and goes after the goal, the objective of defending the red team's onslaught.
So Jerry's blue today, then. So he's defending today after his red team action yesterday.
Correct.
Okay. And what was Ken when he played you then, Eric? You were
Ken
red.
I was red. I've been red the entire game, which is a little crazy. It's definitely not where I normally hang my hat, so to speak. Being in DFIR, we are typically the blue team coming into, I guess we do more and more purple teaming now, which is a combination of red and blue. As you can see, definitely have some skill sets in the blue side or in the red side as well as the blue. So definitely.
I think if this game shows you anything, it's how important it is to have knowledge on both camps, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Any real world scenario, you want a SOC analyst, security operating system analyst, to be able to know not only your blue side, how to set things up, but also now how threat actors are coming into a network to be able to protect against those type of attacks coming in. So,
and that's where, I know we're going off tangent a bit, but that's why I love purple teaming so much. I think I think the whole concept behind that makes absolute sense, where you're taking people through that education process, sitting with people while the attack's going on, showing them how the sim's reporting that and what's actually being experienced. It's invaluable, isn't it?
It is very, very invaluable. Excuse me as I stand up because one of my monitors just decided it wants to go on early vacation on me today.
It's okay because I'm back.
Yay!
Hey, Clint,
Yeah.
how are you?
All right.
All
So
sorted?
yeah. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have a little bit of a twist we put in the game. So we put a little bit of a twist for a late game excitement, and apparently for some reason it's not that particular build wasn't loading properly in Jerry's browser. It's cache. I don't know what was going on with that, so I just reverted back to the regular competition build. I will tell you what was going to happen later on. Yeah, there was a interesting little twist that we were going to work on with some insiders and some shifting of resources between the red and the blue in late game, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So we're just playing the standard build. But what I can tell you what is happening now is that there is a very specific map that the blue team is going to play. And I'm not going to give it away now just in case. I don't want to talk about it until the game starts, but only the blue team knows. So Ken is the red team. He does not know what map that we're going to be picking. We're playing 65 turns today. The standard, the game default is 75. That's going to be too long for match play. However, we wanted to be sure and give something a little more exciting. And so we wanted to make sure that we have a longer chance for a match and not the standard 50 turns. So we're going 65 turns, 60 seconds. That means this could potentially be a little bit longer than a 2-hour game if they take maximum amount of time every turn. We have another twist, though. The blue team, just like the last round, starts with 4 staff, and the red team gets to start with 6 points. So they each start with an additional resource that's going to be huge. So I think
what kind of impact is that going to make, Clint, off the bat?
Well, we'll see. I think that means they could both move faster right off the bat, but they're going to be playing on a bigger map. So anyway, so what we're talking about today is we do have my narcissistic view. There we go. So we got Jerry. We're getting ready to kick this off. We've got Jerry and Ken getting ready to face off for the finals. And not only that, before we get started, let's say hey to our sponsors. So thank you to Barricade Cyber Solutions, Eric, and to Simply Cyber, Jerry, and to ThreatGEN, because ThreatGEN built all this. So let's tell them, go ahead. It's time to go. It's go time.
Okay, cool. Let me just drop that in the chat.
Oh, you got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I am down one of my major monitors. I think one of my puppies decided to chew a cord. It's after
those pesky puppies.
Nice.
Yeah, so every once in a while you'll see it go in the background where they'll start playing or whatever. So
he's got his hoodie off.
Yeah, he took it off. He took it off.
Here we go. They're both in the starting gate, and we're going to keep it on Jerry's stream to start with. Just waiting on him.
He is blue team, and blue team always gets started.
There you go. He has to click. He's clicking the large oil and gas map. He gets to start, or has to start, however you want to look at it. They're playing 65 turns on the large map, each starting with additional resources. I think they're going to start off moving a lot faster.
Okay, exciting. So a bit of a switch then from Jerry being the attacker yesterday. Now back to defending again.
Yeah. So starting off, I can already see Ken is over there already queuing up his resources there. But Jerry starting off obviously with the firewall because that's free. You start off with that, and then the SIM. He's already getting his threat monitoring in place, his policies and procedures on this larger map. Threat monitoring is going to be paramount. He absolutely is going to have to get visibility because I think you have you have 2 engineering workstations plus a workstation in the control zone. So plus you have the terminal server. So there's a lot of, and I don't know what Ken did because it was already queued up by the time we got over there.
I think he was doing some often. I couldn't see what else though.
Remind Ken to keep his action log open regularly if he's going to queue up if he's going to queue up his actions before turns, tell him to keep it up for just a minute. All right, so Jerry is already installing log collection, log on his firewalls, on the firewall, and already doing video surveillance. He's preparing to defend against a physical run, but Jerry knows that he's absolutely going to have to get visibility on his critical cyber assets fast, because there are so many critical paths to those control systems that Ken can get access to.
And that one major gameplay that just happened that we were not able to talk about, it does look like Jerry forgot that he did have 4 resources to start off with and did not fully utilize them on round 1.
Yeah. All right. So he's researching weak passwords and electronic SE. Is Ken gonna try to go for the Jerry for Greg's wild ride?
He may be. It's interesting that he did not start scanning that host already, because he still had that one resource. So
it's like they each had an additional resource, and in turn 1 they didn't use it. In turn 2, Ken didn't use his additional resource. So
this may be a situation of you're so used to having only a certain amount of resources that it's kind of memory mapped there. So these are like a lot of times when I play, we have 4 or 5 of our first steps done. So
like setting up that chess match, right?
Exactly.
So what's going to be interesting if Ken does go for the Greg's wild ride strategy, and by the way, everybody, that's the firewall hopping strategy. If he does go for that, then I think Jerry's prepared for that. Because Jerry used that strategy, he knows about it. He's going to prepare for that. By the way, I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody in chat. So we've got Alex in there and Carrie.
Hi, everybody.
A few in there. Got Aaron Lax in there as well, and Roy Keck. Good to see you all, and of course you as well, Kerry.
Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. And
I see that the OSINT was completed. He'd researched weak passwords as well, but I couldn't see what else he'd done.
Trying to figure out exactly. So he's got one resource. Jerry's got one resource left. He did not leave up the action log. Oh, there we go. So he's still doing the video surveillance. Okay.
Yep, he's going to get that going.
So what is he going to do with that last resource if he has available? Let's see. What are you thinking, Jerry? What are you thinking? You going to go electronic logs because you haven't got that put in yet? Nope. He's
doing his LCA, his log collection and analysis, which is good. He needs to get log collection analysis on that router. If he thinks Ken's going for a firewall hopping strategy, he's going to need to get visibility on that router and all of his firewalls.
Yep. Now Ken's going ahead and doing his port scan, and trying to identify what these devices are. So if he is doing Greg's wild ride, he'll be able to figure out that firewall very quickly and be able to start going down that path.
Look at that, Eric. We've got one Hunter Taylor in chat.
Oh, my little dude, my little dude.
All right, what does he have going on here?
I'm not sure.
2FA. Is he clicked it? Okay, yeah. So now that two-factor authentication is going to give him some massive security against password attacks.
Yes, sir, it will. Yes, sir, it will. So that will help nerf Greg's wild ride. So it may come into Ken's sloppy ride.
What happened there, Ken? You were too quick again.
So we are doing the service enumeration on, or he's using up his resources. That's a good idea. I mean, I personally would be. Yep, there you go. Researching.
Yeah. How many resources does he have available there? He's got 2, so he could research just about anything.
Yep.
Gone for weak passwords again.
Yep. If you're doing Greg's wild ride, you need to have default research and weak passwords fully maxed out.
And Jerry is segmenting his network now as well.
Okay, recon completed on the red side.
Was that physical recon?
Password attack. There he goes. He's doing the password attack on the gateway firewall.
Yeah,
and he's doing fuzzing of his existing assets, which is I wouldn't do fuzzing just yet until you've got that last Windows computer already identified. But each their own.
Why is that, Eric?
Because it won't. From my testing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Clint, but until all the assets, it's only going to fuzz the known assets. So
you're missing out on the unidentified.
Yeah, the unidentified Windows computer.
Got you.
And he's got it.
Oh.
Yeah, because that attack resolved before he got his two-factor authentication implemented. So Jerry didn't get the buff for he didn't get the password attack defense buff.
Yep.
For
watching him move those assets to the left, just confirm he is doing Greg's wild ride.
Yep. He's getting those out of the way.
Yep. Jerry's left an X-ray in his DMZ, says Alex. Yes, sir.
Yep,
all right, so Jerry is definitely going on.
He's on to him right there. At least he knows that he has access to that firewall because he put that log analysis in immediately to give him visibility on his critical entry points.
Yep, and that automatically jumps him up to his threat intel score of a 5%. So Jerry's tactic is to be able to hold this thing off, get his threat intel up to either do that or whether
and so having a larger map as well as playing with more turns puts both teams in danger, right? It's harder to hold off the red team for an additional 15 turns.
It is.
And on the red team, you have a greater risk of falling to a threat intelligence win by the blue team.
And I suppose conversely, the same for the blue team's profit and loss account, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, more turns, bigger network is a smaller margin for error.
Yeah, hopefully Ken will show his he did fail that password attack. He's going to try to do,
and you know why he failed that password attack? Because Jerry has that 2FA in now, which gave a buff to that defense.
Yeah, so he's going to have to do exploit attacks on everything going forward. So will he stick with that mindset or will he pivot? And he's going to have to get that, at least that switch.
Electronic social engineering there.
Yep. So if he's going electronic, then he's going to typically go with a phishing attack.
Now, I want to see if he's going to gather forensics. So he went into IR mode. He disconnected. He's gathering forensics. There you go. There you go.
Hunter's just asked who's red and who's blue. Jerry is blue today and Ken is red. Hunter.
Jerry is going to show no quarter to anyone he finds, any assets he finds compromised. He's going to be going straight for the threat intelligence, the forensics. So I'm going to tell you right now, if Ken does not pay attention to his stealth, he's going to lose to a threat intelligence victory by Jerry.
And for those who have not played, typically when you shut off your router and disconnect from the network, granted you are going to take a P&L, profit and loss hit, but because Jerry is initiating it and the red team did not bring that thing down through a brute force attack, it's not quite as much of a hit on your P&L in this game.
Yeah. So what we're going to see here is he wants to compromise that router so he can get visibility to the firewalls. We saw this strategy yesterday from Jerry, and I think I don't know if Jerry put log collection on that router. If he did, and if he sees that router compromised, he's going to know exactly what strategy Ken is using.
Yeah, I don't think he has it because that has not gone off yet. If he had the log collection and analytics on those devices, it would already show that that thing's being targeted.
He's already...
He's requested budget. What's his budget?
That was smart.
I can't see what it is.
He's got 17,000 right now, and that was smart. He got compromised. That compromise gives him a slight buff to the budget request, which means he has a chance of getting that budget now. That was a smart move in utilizing his resources. Now, what we're going to see from Jerry most likely, now that he has his network segmented, and he has all of his firewalls, he's going to want to put log collection on each of those firewalls to protect against the firewall hopping strategy, Greg's wild ride. So, and so now he's blue. You see it's blue. Yep, that means Ken now knows it's been disconnected by Jerry. He's still going to go try to attack that router.
He may not know what blue is. I'm not sure if Ken has enough gameplay to know that blue means disconnected.
RTFM.
Very true. But then again, I've never read it either, but I don't read much.
You figured it out. So, so he's doing a password attack on that remote user. That I don't quite... And he picked a user that he doesn't have advanced... Yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand that strategy. Not only did he choose a password attack on a remote user, he chose a password attack on a remote user. I guess he chose the password attack on that one because he doesn't have advanced research on those vulnerabilities. But still, he might... Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, remote users could give him, a hit on the P&L against Jerry.
David
Right.
David E from the chat, he said that yes, Jerry did put log collection on the router. So if Ken compromises that router, Jerry will see it.
So log collection will not alert on a password attack against the device. I thought at least signal that. I could be wrong.
No,
Probably.
it will anytime the state of an asset is manipulated or compromised, the state is called controlled. Anytime it has a state of controlled, the log collection will alert on it.
Okay, got the budget.
Got the budget. I knew that. Yeah, I figured he was probably going to get that budget because he did have a buff from a compromised asset.
Alex has asked if Jerry's got his IR procedures worked out. Did we know?
I think he did. I saw him queue it up. I'm digging the music we have going today. This sounds a bit hackerish, technical.
It's
techno.
better than the yesterday one, definitely, isn't it?
Yeah.
More appropriate, Clint. More appropriate.
Kudos to the Restream dashboard. He's putting on his EDR in his critical assets. Smart. So he's anything that can have control of a PLC. So your SCADA servers, your HMIs, your workstations in the control zone, your engineering workstations. He's putting EDR on all of those to get visibility. So if Ken hits any of those, he'll be alerted to that. There we go.
So in real life, is Ken more blue team or more red team?
I'm not exactly sure. Jerry says that he has a lot of red team experience. As long as I've known Ken, it seems like he's always talked more blue team. I don't really know. I don't.
It's
really
possible
know
that Ken's like me. He's more of a purple.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. Maybe we can ask him after this match to get that.
So we see. So Ken recompromised that firewall, and Jerry sees it. Jerry's probably getting a little fed up with it, but that's okay.
Exactly.
Thanks, Aaron. Aaron's just told us Ken's red. Appreciate that, Aaron.
Oh, so he isn't more of a red team. Okay, good deal. So each player is in their own wheelhouse. That's good. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hunter, my little guys, there's no purple team, silly. Yes, Hunter, there is. I'll talk to you about it after the game. Hunter, the things I do day in and day out is purple teaming to some degree, but we'll talk about that after.
I'm kind of curious to see if my kids are watching. They won't be able to get into the chat because they're not on a computer. But I told my wife and kids that we're going live in 15 minutes, and sometimes they watch my streams. They used to watch my streams on my personal channel for other things. Mm-hmm. So if you are watching, hi kids, hi wife,
kids,
hey mom, mine are in bed. Yeah, hey mom.
All right, so he's cleaning. Let's see. Gather forensics again. You could still gather forensics, but it's going to be diminishing returns each subsequent time you do it on the same machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're just reparsing the exact same forensics that you already have, right?
Yeah, but there's always a chance you might find something new from recurring data.
Yeah, if you haven't changed, unless you have changed it, you've increased your security posture on that said device. Gathering the forensics is not going to give you much.
He elected not to though. He's going to go ahead and replace that.
Replace it. Good.
And then he's going to play deactivate IR on the same turn so that they resolve properly. So you're not wasting a turn. And that's a smart way to play. You replace the asset and then you queue up deactivate IR in the same turn so that they happen in the same turn, but they resolve in the proper order. And what's called the stack. So anybody who's a gamer, especially like a trading card game, like in Magic the Gathering, you'll know exactly what I mean by resolving the stack. If you're a programmer, it's the stack. It's like an array. It's first in, last out. So
FIFO for those who are in the restaurant industry.
It's funny how we have so much crossover, isn't it? Between queue, any type of queue, any type of a buffer or a queue. Doesn't matter if it's a restaurant, a line, or a club going into a restaurant, a line, or food line, or
because the English language is so lazy. That's what it is. We use the same word for everything.
Yeah, it's because it was created by you Brits.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Gasly Joseph, that someone says magic. Yes, a magic jack is being shipped to your house. There you go. Research that one, you young buck. See if you can figure out what that one is. Us older guys know what a magic jack is.
So I think
Anyway,
Ken's in the middle of a spearfishing attack at the moment, isn't he?
Yep, that's what I was getting ready to say. It looks like the pivot has turned. It does look like Ken has removed the tactic of going with Greg's Wild Ride and has pivoted to start doing a fishing and spearfishing attacks. The social media aspect. If this does not go very well, Ken is really going to be stuck in the mud. For those who are in the South, he's going to be get stuck mud bogging here real quick.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I was going to do, what we had planned, but apparently the build didn't work out. The build was fine. I've been using it fine and testing it fine. I think it just got caught up in Jerry's cache. He didn't clear his cache properly. So we're not going to see it. I'll spoil the surprise now what it was going to be. Late games, red team tends to get bogged down and blue team has the advantage. And then I wanted to make sure that if this game went beyond 50 turns, so if this game gets won or lost, I guess it has to get won and lost, and with 50 turns or less, then there's no different from the way the rest of the tournament's been going. So, however, if it went beyond 50 turns, I was going to, I put in a special little thing to where Jerry would get a notification telling him that he had a disgruntled staff that quit, and he will immediately lose one resource. And the text basically said you had a disgruntled staff member that moved to Oregon or died of dysentery. We can't tell which, but he left disgruntled. And the flavor text said you've died of dysentery from Oregon Trail. and then at the same time on that same turn, Ken was going to get a notification that said that a former insider of your target has given you critical information, and he permanently gained one resource. So that's what was going to happen as a twist if they made it to late game to help balance out the red team deficiencies. Unfortunately, for some reason, the build worked fine for Ken, did not work for Jerry. I'm thinking that he just didn't get his cache cleared out properly or something like that, and that tends to happen whenever you have a build conflict.
Big shout out to Jax in the chat.
Yep.
Hey, Jax.
What's going on, Smiley? So
she wants to know what she's missed.
Yep, that's what I'm getting ready to do. That's what we're getting ready to do. So as you know, everybody here, we are playing ThreatGEN's Red versus Blue, where Dr. Gerald Auger is doing his one-armed punch because he thinks he's Billy Bad, playing as blue team, and Ken Underwood is in his homeland of red teaming going up against Jerry. So right now it's pretty even. Ken was trying to do Greg's Wild Ride, but now it's turned into a big sloppy mess. He has pivoted to the fishing and social engineering aspect of things, but right now Jerry does definitely have a lot of strong defenses put in place. It's really going to be interesting to see how Ken is going to combat what blue team has already put in place. Thanks for everybody coming in. We are at round 18. Please let us know in the chat, who do you think is going to win so far? Whose gameplay do you favor, and who do you think is going to win? Let us know.
But here's the thing, while Jerry has a really good defense going, you have a large network and you have 15 extra turns. Mm-hmm. So, and as long as if Ken keeps jacking up that electronic SE, that electronic social engineering, Jerry's pumped. He's confident. He's over there doing this kind of stuff. Either that or he's jamming to the music, but that's what he does when he plays, when he's jacked up. Anyway, he's all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Anyway, so I think that Ken still has a lot of opportunity. It's only turn 19. There's a lot of time left for Ken to get something going. And with this large map and 15 extra turns, it's quite possible, especially if he gets that electronic SE really jacked up and really maxed out, then there's always an opportunity. There he goes. He's got that firewall again. He's like a gnat on that firewall.
Yeah, he's definitely splitting his tactics a little bit. He's definitely still doing researching his, social engineering. He is popping that gateway, because he is stuck. He is behind the 8 ball a little bit. And Aaron in chat has just brought up something I was going to mention, that I am surprised that Ken has not tried at least to recruit other hackers yet. Yeah. It would have failed now. Maybe that's why he hasn't yet. But...
Well, let's see. I mean, he's got a... So it's 25% chance because the 30 we bumped it to 30% for the finals, and it didn't make it into the build didn't make it. So we're still at 25% chance, but he's had a compromise. Now it's not aggregate. So when you get one compromise, you get that buff. He's got the OSENT buff. Has he done a spearfish attempt yet? So you get buffed. Okay, so the only buffs he has on recruit hackers is the OSENT and the compromised host. That's it. He's got 2 buffs. So
was he not doing a spearfishing campaign last turn? No,
he was prepping for it.
Oh, okay.
There he goes. He's finally got.
Yeah, and he's got the router. Finally got that router. Jerry's gonna see it. Now and then, but he, I'm gonna be here. You're not going to succeed there, most likely, with a password attack. So he needs to be looking for vulnerabilities on those firewalls.
I'm not sure why he's doing a host scan on a device he's already compromised.
Yeah, I don't think he fully understands. Either he doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either he knows he's not going to be successful with the password attack, and he's looking and he's kind of modifying the strategy. Yeah, I mean, now Jerry absolutely knows that he's going for Greg's Wild Ride, and if Jerry is smart, he's going to put log collection on those firewalls if he hasn't already.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, the more and more time that we go on, Jerry is just doing my mentality. You're going around, you're securing everything, you're doing everything you need to do inside the environment, and then you're going to start stacking on the security layers, right? You're monitoring everything you got, you're securing everything you got, then you're going to build on that security layer. So it's going to be really, really, really hard for Ken to, once he really gets to the security awareness training for phishing, Ken really should be so knee deep in phishing attacks right now. But we'll see how this thing plays out, right? We've seen stranger things happen.
Well, and here's the thing, that I don't know if Jerry queued up. He did not. I'm looking over there right now. So he activated IR, and we're gonna wait and see what happens. Whenever here's his turn right now. I'm gonna see if he should be doing forensics on that router. And there's a switch there he's got now. I didn't notice that Ken was going for that switch, which I don't understand that move. Since he's already we'll see. I mean, that's going to give you visibility over everything there. I'm not sure that was a good move, but all that's going to do now is, if Jerry's smart here, he's going to do forensics on both the router and that switch now, and that's going to start pushing that threat intelligence up. I think Jerry's going to end up winning this with a threat intelligence victory.
Yep, because we already had 25%. Sorry. So
yeah, Ken is not focusing on stealth, and we'll see. I mean, that's what Jerry needs to be doing. He needs to be doing that forensics. And Jerry, I will tell you right now, Jerry doesn't want to win this with a weather the storm. He wants to actively win this, and threat intelligence is his. Oh, Jerry, what are you doing? That's a misstep. He should be gathering forensics on both those devices.
Yeah.
Especially when, Jerry does not like to win by default, which is what Weather the Storm is. It's a default win for the blue. If he wants bragging rights, which I know he does, he wants to actively win this with threat intelligence.
Yeah, so David E brought something up that I noticed a moment ago, that his sim elk server here does not have EDR on that thing. So if Ken pops that sim, it's going to be
visibility.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a technique that the red team can use to blind the blue team to
now. If he does not, somebody throw something at Jerry. He still does it. My gosh.
No, don't throw anything at Jerry. We don't want any. We don't want. Oh, do you mean throw something physically at him like a wrench?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think Ken will get to the point where he'll decide to pivot to the perimeter, try to go for physical attack?
He's starting to get his visibility now.
Look, he has no forensics. Up there. You know what? I think he's toying with Ken now.
He is, I think. But if he pops that sim, though, he's going, like you said, he's going to lose visibility, because that sim gives him that threat intel.
But Ken doesn't see the sim yet. He's still enumerating.
Yeah, he's just trying to find stuff, right? He's getting a little bit of foothold. He's trying to find his way around. So, I mean, Ken is He's at least being diligent. He's being persistent. You know,
Now I think he just queued up fuzzing.
which is good because now you have a little bit more assets.
Yeah, he
You can
did.
see
He
what's-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to because he needs to find 0 days on some of those things so Jerry can't fix them as fast. Because I've never seen Jerry do pen testing.
Mm-mm.
Now, are you going to do it? Yeah, there you. Oh, no. Gather
David said he
forensics.
just enumerated the Linux computer on the last.
Okay,
go.
gather forensics. Gather forensics. There you go. There you go.
So he went into
Now-
IR. It did not put EDR in his. Oh, this is crazy gameplay. Crazy gameplay. This is. I wonder
Do you
if he.
think he's taunting him?
I don't know. I don't know. We're definitely one of the questions I'm going to be bringing up.
So
Because
yeah,
my normal gameplay, when I put the sim in, the next move is I put EDR on that.
and there we go. There's the sim. He's got it.
Yep.
See,
Yep,
he knows
he
it
sees it.
too. He knows it. He's gonna.
Yeah.
So is he going to research those vulnerabilities and attack it? Let's see. Let's see. He's got 4 resources right now. He's still fuzzing.
What are you doing,
It's
Ken? I mean, he's got basic vulnerabilities on there right now, but he doesn't have any.
I don't know why he's doing this. He's got the
No.
sim.
Now, I mean, here, think about it, right? Jerry,
Well, that is the DC.
but here's the thing: Jerry knows that those devices are compromised. If Ken compromises the sim, and all of a sudden Jerry sees those red devices go normal, he's going to know the sim has been compromised. You got to wait. You got to give, and Ken doesn't know this, but you've got to give Jerry time to clean those devices, then compromise the sim.
So the question in the chat from James, thanks Jack for mentioning my name, brought my attention to it. Is it too late for him to cover his tracks or evade
No.
IDS?
Yeah.
Sort of, yes. All the existing stuff, right now, he's not going to be able to cover that up
Yeah.
because his EDR and everything's already detected that. But if he starts exploring that,
What happened there?
Oh.
Okay, it looks like he had a minor glitch. Okay.
Wait,
thought this
hold
thing was-
on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Wait.
Yep. It looks like, it was just a minor glitch. Okay.
Okay. It was
So-
a network connectivity issue. That might
Yeah.
explain why Jerry was having issues. Come on, Ken, click that. Tell him to just click close.
You got it, Simon?
Yeah, got it.
There he goes. There he goes.
Wait.
He's got it now. Okay.
Okay.
So a little bit of technical issues. So yeah.
That's
if
what
he
happens.
starts-
That's what happens when you lose connectivity during the game, folks.
Yeah. But to answer the question, if he starts exploring IDS and starting to cover his tracks, he could go from this point forward. Think of it like your health insurance or your car insurance or whatever. Anything that happened in the past is not covered. Anything going forward would be potentially covered.
Good analogy.
That is a good analogy.
Yeah. Got to watch out for those exemptions as well and
So,
exclusions.
David E, I want to disagree with you. You brought up a point. DC is sort of useless
All right.
except for P&L. But what about if you're able to harvest the credentials from the DC?
Tell Jerry. Yeah, Jerry didn't know that the game was reconnected. There we go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm watching them both right here, so y'all see my head go do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Look like a bobblehead.
Exactly.
You're an ET bobblehead.
ET phone home.
Eric,
You're lucky,
Anyway,
you're lucky that your children haven't stolen your spare screens like mine have to use with their Xboxes.
No, I steal theirs. So I'm looking.
oh
like,
no, so yeah, to catch up, did I see David E? No, Ken got that sim. I have not seen that populate through yet. Let's see.
No.
Sorry, we've been doing a little bit of chatting there. Hunter, we don't have a clear person who's in the lead. Ken does definitely have a foothold, is gaining traction. We are seeing
What
a
is
little bit of
going-
network connectivity.
Jerry just
Jerry is
disconnected.
gone. Jerry is gone. He got completely disconnected.
Yeah.
Jerry got disconnected. He is back.
That's
at
a
the
network
login
issue.
screen.
He's having network issues. I'm thinking that might be to tell Ken to pause.
I'm not sure if that's a network issue or not. I mean,
Tell Ken to
Jerry has
pause.
Well done, it.
Jerry has not dropped his stream at all. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, we do have a little bit of a network issue. So sorry for the gameplay pause in the gameplay. We do have two competitors that are here playing Red versus Blue, which is a play-by-play simulation of threat hunting and attack simulation in an eSports style. We are.
It could be. It could be though, Eric, as Roy said. Maybe Ken's strategy is a deny the service attack.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, I think Jerry. So Jerry, yeah.
Sorry, Clint, go on. I was just going to drop in, if people aren't aware of where to find the game, it's ThreatGEN.com. And if you want to have a look at the Invitational Tournament flowchart and results, have a look on esports.threatgen.com.
Yep. Please wait with us, everybody, while Clint is doing his magic to try to clean up what's going on, see if we can get the gameplay back and going here. While we're waiting, everybody tell us, where are you from right now? Where are you checking in from? Tell us what part of the world we are here, right? So I personally am in South Carolina, right outside of Charleston, right next to Jerry, even though we're 2 towns apart, known each other for a little over a year, and we still have yet to meet yet. Simon, where are you from?
I'm in Norfolk, but Norfolk, United Kingdom, so in England.
Oh, gotcha.
Wait.
Gotcha. Hunter says, in my house. Yes, literally the other room over. Right. So yeah, Clint's going to drop off stream. He's going to do the technical stuff, as the CEO of ThreatGEN.
I don't know why I'm all big.
Carrie, yes, I miss South Carolina. Hey, plane trip, man, plane trip. Jax is in Colorado. She loves Colorado. She used to live there for 10 years. Justin is in Colombia. What's up, neighbor? What's up?
Do you know what's crazy, Eric, is that Jax and I have actually met. So I went over to San Francisco for RSAC this year and had the pleasure of meeting Jax in person, which was amazing.
That brings up a good topic. I was sitting there, I was going to put a post out on LinkedIn and Twitter, but let me ask you and the chat here. I'm looking at conferences for next year. I'm debating DEF CON. I'm definitely going to Reconnaissance Con next year. It's a new conference for DFIR firms and practitioners. Those who don't know, DFIR, Digital Forensics and Incident Response, is what we live in. But let me know in the chat what conferences are you looking forward to for next year that are cybersecurity related. Again, take out Reconnaissance Con, which is kind of a new one. In case you didn't know, check it out. And don't mention DEF CON or anything like that. But what is everybody else doing? Westworld? No, we're not going to Westworld. I don't want to be overrun by a robot. Simon, what conferences are you looking at potentially going? I know.
Well, I'm going to one next week, actually. I'm going to Cyber Expo, which is in London next week. And I think there's another one that's maybe in Brussels in Europe that I'm going to in November. But other than that, next year's a long way away for me. So I'm unsure. I've had the pleasure of being flown over by the firm I'm consulting for this year. So I kind of got a free ticket over there, which was amazing. Hopefully, I'll get to go to some different ones next year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yep, Kimberly.
To be honest though, Eric, it's even going to RSAC and then going to InfoSec Europe, which was in London, the similarities and the messaging was pretty much the same, and it was a lot of buzzwords around zero trust, shift left, and whilst there was some value there was an awful lot of vendor noise. I think would be my opinion.
Yeah, I heard that a lot about RSA. Everything was zero trust this, zero trust that. And a lot of vendors don't really understand what zero trust is. It's like, oh, we're going to help you get zero trust. Really? How exactly are you going to do that, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to give me zero trust in that particular application that you're doing, but you're not helping the organization as a whole into zero trust. So, Wild Hacking Fest, I was scheduled to go this year, but because of some procedures for a little dude, I had to back out at the last minute, so I will not be going to Wild Hacking Fest this year.
I need to jump in quickly because Hunter's asked a very good question. Do you think you'd be good at this game? I think you'd be awesome at this game, Hunter. If you're anything like your dad, you'd be very good, I'm sure.
Yep, we'll be getting him on the account here soon, so we'll be.
How old is Hunter?
Hunter is 13.
13. I've got a 13-year-old too, Hunter. I just brought him back from boxing training earlier on this evening. That's what he's been doing tonight. Punching bags.
Yeah, Jax, I don't know. I am not going, unfortunately, this year. I had everything planned. reservations, plane trips, all that, and like I said, had to pull out, but no biggie. Next year definitely consider it. Definitely family first type of thing. So got to take care of little dude, make sure he gets things taken care of. So that's the reason why. But anyway,
Absolutely.
this game may get called on a technicality. Hunter. I knew I was gonna get him. So there's there's a joke in the back that I'm always messing with Hunter. Those who don't know, Hunter Taylor is my son. He's my youngest son of 2 boys. He is proudly 14, but I'm always messing with him that he's 13. And I actually heard him screaming in the other room, "Dad!" Yeah, I'm always messing with him. It gets him every time. But anyway,
that's what dads are for, Eric, isn't it? That's what dads are for.
Yeah.
So you think this game might be killed? Does that mean we have to call a winner, or is it going to be rescheduled? Do you think?
I don't think there was enough data from both players to really call a game. So I do think this will have to be potentially.
Let me jump in real quick.
Please.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is an issue that was caused by the build. Remember we said this, so there was some sort of build thing going on with Jerry's browser. We're finding out. So Jerry's clearing his cache, but he wasn't restarting his browser. And so if you restart your cache and do not restart your browser, it can cause issues. And I think that's what was going on. That's why we had the issue. Ken loaded fine. Jerry didn't. He cleaned his cache, but didn't restart his browser. And so that's why he was having issues with the build. And he restarted his cache. It worked, but when he was playing the game, you saw he got booted out to the login screen. That happens when you log in twice, or you have corrupted browser cache, and there's a cookie in there, and it thinks that you're logged in twice. That's exactly what happened to him.
Now, there's no way, if I remember correctly, there's no way to bring him into a game that's currently in session, right?
Correct.
So, because it looks like right now Ken still has his session going, but you can't bring a player into an existing or reconnect into that session. Can
right? Yeah. We right now we don't have it into the.
Got a quick message actually there, Clint. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah. Hold on, real quick.
No worries. So I noticed, Alex, thank you very much for pointing out my glorious locks and the fact that while Clint was away, I was just on full screen whilst Eric was trolling his son. So, Clint, you're aware of what we were talking about when you were away now.
Yeah. So I could hear you talking. I was just dealing with this in the background. So the issue we're facing right now is that Jerry still seems to think we can recover. He can get back into the game, and we keep telling him we can't. So there's no way to get back into the game, unfortunately.
That's a typical CISO, though. Every time I deal with a CISO, it's like, "Oh, we can do it." No, you can't. Yes, we can. Until they go through and they,
So what's the plan then, Clint? Are you going to run a shorter game, or what are you going to do?
I think what we'll do is we'll just drop it back to 50 turns, because we don't want to call it like this. This is the final match, and we'll just let them restart. We'll just go back to the regular. We'll just go back to the 50 turns, the standard resources, and play a straight game, going back to a random map. We'll just start over that way. We'll just bring it back to, and Jerry, unfortunately,
he may be
restarting his browser. He's going to reboot his whole thing. So, his stream killed. This is now
that we're going to do
having
a shorter match. Now that we're doing a shorter match, will the map still be the same, or are they going to do a random map?
I'm gonna have them do random. I'm having to do them random. So anyway, but this is let's see here. We could just.
I think we're going to restart, Jax. Notice that you put Bummer in there. I think we're going to get it restarted again. So.
Yeah, the gameplay was definitely interesting so far, right? So it was, Ken was starting to get a little bit of footholds. He was starting to make some lateral movement.
All right, Jerry is back.
Yep. He was definitely getting back up, and Ken was definitely getting a foothold and doing that lateral movement. Was attacking the sim. So it. Really sad that we have to, do this. It was really starting to turn into an interesting, but Ken has definitely, got a chance to play a little bit more, and may be able to, expedite his things.
If Ken gets a quick red team victory now, Jerry's never going to let it go. You know that.
No, he won't. He won't. I had him. Again, typical CISO, right? I love giving him trash.
I can't comment. I'm interviewing CISOs on my show at the moment, so I can't say a bad word, Eric, or no one will come on.
You'd be like, current company excluded, naturally.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Alex, yeah, definitely. It was being a good run, right? So just to circle back a little bit while the technical issues are being going back through. I didn't see what everybody was potentially. I know Kerry said he wishes he could go on some trip, and some RSCA conversations and some Wild Hacking Fest. What's everybody else considering next year? What's everybody considering for a conference? Aaron wants to go with me on 20 to 20. I don't know who you are. I'm game. I don't care.
Aaron's a co-host of mine in the InfoSec Live community, and he's also a bit like you, blue team, but he'd give you a good game, definitely. We'll sort
Aaron,
that out another time, Aaron.
Yeah, so set up the introduction, or just email me or whatever. We'll set up a game. I know me and Jax are going to potentially do a playoff on independent streams, not part of the
all right, we're back in. I let him know. No. Tell him no. Tell him stop.
Right, I'm on it. Got it.
Yeah, you have to ping him to get his attention.
Yeah, he's not. So somebody over in his chat ping him and tell him to stop.
He did. He's waiting on you.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately can't talk to him. We have to chat with him.
You gonna be calling on a cell phone? Never mind. He just raised, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, here we go. Getting chased.
Of course, you got to put on another layer.
Yeah. So now Aaron, good. Aaron got my back now, and he's telling him what to do. So yeah, he. I mean, and look, it would have been fine if we ran a full 65-30 game again. But to be fair, we're already an hour into this, and so I just want to do a standard tournament game and just get it done regular.
Otherwise, for anyone who hasn't seen this before, or you've only just tuned in, if you want to catch a real game yourself, you can play at ThreatGEN.com, or to have a look at the 2022 Invitational Tournament, check out eSports.ThreatGEN.com.
There we go. Good to go.
All right. Let's go. Round 2.
Did you say he was choosing the same plant or a different venue?
It's going to be a random one.
Okay.
They're going to pick randomly.
So what's Ken hoping to see here then? What would be ideal situation for him?
Another crash by Jerry.
A win by default. Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Did Ken disappear?
No, Ken's there. Give me a second. I'm pinging him.
Just had my coffee delivered. I'm ready for round 2.
There we go. Looks like Ken is paying attention now. He's getting things. Yep. There we go.
All right. There we go.
Here we go.
We are going random, like we said before. Now let's put this thing back up. We've seen how the gameplay was going already to begin with. Is Jerry going to be able to keep with the same tactics and be able to hold off?
And he's the manufacturing map.
Okay.
Oh, the small map, the massive blue team side, massive blue team.
So he's got an advantage here.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think that Jerry was on pace to win the game in the last match before I crashed, unless Ken got a lucky strike. That's so I'm gonna put that out there right now. That so if Jerry wins in this one here, then I'll say that's what was on pace to do the last one anyway, barring a lucky strike. If Ken wins, then I will say tough break by Jerry. But I mean, that's what you get for not restarting your browser when you refresh your cache.
Does it look like Ken's going for the same tactic again? Straight away researching weak passwords.
Yep. He may be doing the Greg's Wild Ride.
In sloppy ride, you mean?
Yeah, and by the way, and I'm just going to mention this. So that was not a bug that happened. Okay, that was an issue with anytime you run a browser-based, memory-based program, and there's a binary executing from your browser memory, which is the way the game runs. When that game changes, when the binary changes, when something about that changes, like when we do a new build, you've got to get that cleared out of your memory by clearing your cache, and then you have to restart your browser to be sure. And that's with anything. That's not just with. And we had that issue at Elevate IT at a conference last week. Same thing. The browser cache wasn't being cleared. So if you are a professional player here, or I mean, if you have a professional license and you're playing Red versus Blue and you're experiencing that, make sure you're clearing your cache and restarting your browser anytime there's a new build that has been pushed. So it's a learning experience for everyone.
There we go. So what's Jerry up to?
Jerry's doing his default, setup, trying to get things locked in. Ken is definitely doing a very interesting tactic where he is doing weak passwords and he's doing electronic SE. So it does seem like he's trying to do a two-pronged attack.
Okay. There we go.
Right. So. And Hunter,
suggesting he plays Clint. Yeah, good idea.
No, Hunter, you're not playing Clint. I am first on that totem pole.
Actually, it was Jerry. Jerry was first.
Well, never mind. I'm at a higher run on a totem pole than you are, Hunter.
You're down the bottom of me, Hunter. It's all right. It's good down here. We learn lots.
That's right.
All
right. So hopefully Jerry will show his. Let me ping Jerry. Say, hey, show your action log. Those who are just joining us again, sorry, just to reset the room real quick. We are playing Red versus Blue, a turn-by-turn simulation game where you can learn how to be a red team or blue team or being able to defend each other in a step-by-step simulation game. Where we do have Ken Underwood as a red team, as you see right now, seeing two devices on the blue team's network, trying to figure out what those two devices. While Ken, Jerry is trying to defend against Jerry.
I think Ken's going to try the same strategy.
I think he is.
That way.
But he's doing a little bit different. Like I said, he's doing electronic SC, which I don't remember if he was doing that much before. I don't think he was, right? So Alex just said, yeah, stock blue team launch. I totally agree. Hunter's told me to be quiet, not to expose any more family secrets. No worries.
You'll have to come more often. So tell us some secrets about your dad in the chat. Come on.
Jerry, all right, so better. Jerry is he's segmenting his network and
he's getting that security on the engineering workstation.
Alex made a good point. Jerry missed a trick without the vol mapping turn after the segmentation started.
That's an interesting tack. I've never done vulnerability mapping right after the segment. That's an interesting tactic.
DJ B6.
We've got the chat messing with him now. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that. He's got log collection on all of his firewalls. He is defending fully against that the firewall hopping Greg's Wild Ride. He is not taking any chances.
He knows what's coming, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jerry is betting hard that Ken is going to keep the same tactic, just go back through the same thing.
And he is so far. Yep. It's
if Ken went and did a blitz like the Roadrunner, like I did against Matt Lee, he would be annihilating Jerry right now if he pivoted.
Yeah, Aaron, in answer your question, you do have to have a sign in, but you can register on ThreatGEN.com is where you can sign up for that.
My boy Joseph said that he feels like Jerry stole his playlist from Spotify. So I guess Jerry's over there still jamming. We be jamming, man. The Jamaica. I'll be quiet now.
So, all right.
Sorry, we do have fuzzing going on from Ken.
That's good. He's not relying solely on passwords this time.
Yep, he does see both of those assets.
Yeah, and he
so
failed
now is a good
because
time to-
Jerry's already got that defense up in place.
Yep, so he's going to start researching his vulnerabilities and trying to know what to attack for on those. There is an interesting play that he could potentially use. Granted, this is a smaller map, so I don't think this particular situation will warrant. But on the bigger maps where you have more remote users, being able to compromise those remote users, do data exfiltration, and extract data could do a massive hit on that P&L on those remote users. Because those are typically one of the last ones that blue team give a darn about, right? So
Yep. So he's got his 2FA queued up. So the password attack was just unlucky because he did not have the 2-factor authentication yet. So that was just really unlucky on Ken's part.
Yeah, I think I have to. Okay, perfect. So we are back over on red, yes, sir. So he does have the default credentials enabled. He does have the weak passwords enabled, which I didn't know if he had default and research or not. So that's a good update. Good deal. So yeah, that is definitely an unlucky break on his side, being able to pop that device. So yeah, Jerry is definitely going after the most critical infrastructures that he has. He still hasn't, like last time, put an EDR on that Splunk server to be able to do that.
I kind of feel like that. Wait, did I already turn it over? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
I kind of feel like it was a little bit of like a little bit of justice served here, in that we started with a big map, and we're already an hour in, and then we restarted a new game, and they get the smallest map. So it's kind of like the universe is balancing things out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on in. I'm not sure what's going on in chat, but Hunter, be quiet.
He's complaining that his pocket money's not enough, is what I can see.
Great, that means I'm gonna get hit up for a raise on the freaking chores list. This is awesome. Okay. But anyway, I'm not sure. I'll talk to him later. I'm not sure what he's complaining about.
So is Jerry looking confident then? Is he looking
it
relaxed?
Does. He does look very confident. He does look very focused though. Those who are actually watching him on his stream, it's interesting to see him very focused. He's trying to figure out his game plan.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to go systematically. This is Jerry has at this point. So I would say that Ken is probably not experienced enough with the game to defeat Jerry on a small map, because Jerry is going to go through systematically and just secure his network. And Ken, I don't think
you argue he's better off pivoting to the perimeter then.
Yeah, I think he needs to go physical. I mean, at this point, and he needs to try Hail Marys. I don't think Ken's not going to get in through his traditional means on a smaller map against Jerry. Jerry has too much experience being able to secure the smaller maps quickly.
But again, it's easy for us armchair quarterbacks to sit here and say that when Ken doesn't really know what map he's on. I don't suppose at this point, does he?
Yeah. So Alex, I totally agree. Or get a social engineering campaign going. Exactly. You need to pivot from Greg's wild ride or Ken's sloppy ride, whatever you want to call it this time around, of doing that attack to go and fishing and or physical. Creating those malicious USBs and going in.
Let's see. All right, we're over back. There we go. So he's going to start. Has he secured the RDP yet on that terminal server?
I know he was securing some stuff. I can't remember if that was this game or last game. But anyway, hopefully he'll show up his action log again and we'll be able to see that. I know I'm not sure if it was this game or last.
I saw him messing with it.
I did as well.
With EDR and things like that. He's got a 0-day there, so he did that fuzzing. It was successful, and he found a couple 0 days. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have that many. He doesn't have a very big attack surface right now.
Alex and David, thank you so much for confirming he did secure his terminal service this time around. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks to the people who play this game and help ThreatGEN out so much. You know who you guys are. You are actively watching, keeping us straight, knowing the gameplay. We definitely appreciate their engagement and helping us keep us straight. So thank you very much.
Very much.
Yeah. Alex and David are official beta testers, volunteer beta testers at that. I had to mention that because they're going to start asking me to pay them pretty soon. I'm sure. If,
yeah, especially since my guys are already in here talking about a raise and everything too. You know, I'm going to whip out the ladder later. Tell them to start climbing the ladder a little bit. And there's your raise. Old construction joke for you. You know, when you always ask the boss for a raise, go on the ladder.
So now we have Just Ben telling us that he did not secure the RDP. He put on EDR, but he did not secure. What do we have going on here? We had Jerry's all pumped again. Okay.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it here? Oh, and he's just letting his turn expire.
Yep. So let's try to get this thing reset again. So we are back on red team. He is doing a lot of research. He is trying to get in there. He is, well, we are almost at turn 15. You know, he is still done. He's stuck in the mud. He just can't get in there. You know, if he does research enough,
doing this for, Eric? How long does he keep at this for before he changes tactics?
Me personally, I would have started already changing. Yeah. Right. He's already, when he brings back up his skill set, he was doing electronic SC research already. So it's not as hard for him to make a quick pivot. But the longer he waits with a smaller map, Jerry's going to be able to have a chance to secure this thing more and more. All right. Yeah. So.
And you said before on the first game that you don't think Jerry's going to want a drawn out. He was going to want a decisive victory today over Ken.
Yep, but I mean, on a smaller he did get the compromisation.
Oh,
I mean,
compromisation,
dude.
Compromisation.
Using out the big words, even if that is word. If not,
I'm not even sure if that's the word. Maybe it might be a word in the UK.
So yes, compromise the main firewall. You know, this goes to real world life, right? If you know about a vulnerability, you research those vulnerabilities enough, you will be able to compromise a device, right? So it doesn't matter. But you know, Jerry does have his logs turned on for that main firewall. So as you can see there, he does see that firewall is compromised. Will Jerry? He is going to activate IR. Good deal.
Yeah. But is he gonna? Is he getting the forensics going?
We will know.
He's just now getting that going. Okay.
Yep. So we'll know next turn, sir. So
he's got the router.
Wow, he's making hay of this thing a lot quicker.
I'm thinking that little network hiccup that we had probably isn't going to matter because this is playing out exactly like it did before, but on a smaller map. So it's.
I do think Jerry is a lot more focused this time around, where he was a lot less. He was a little bit more sloppy. Maybe it seemed that way because of a bigger map. I don't know, but we'll see. Right. So he is gathering his forensics on that server.
This is, we're picking up right where we left off, just on a smaller map. It's
now here's something for Alex and Ben and David E. If I'm not mistaken, when you do your gather forensics and you're running a clean asset, does that not nerf each other out? You can't really clean an asset and gather forensics in a real world scenario.
If you have to let the gather forensics
play out,
resolve, and then clean the asset. Now, in real life, yes, it can be done, right? And so, but it has to be done in sequential order. You can't clean the asset and then do forensics in real life, and you can't do it in the game either. So, but if you do it in proper order, you can absolutely go in, gather forensics, and then just wipe the hard drive, clean it or whatever.
Yep.
Now, cleaning the asset here is actually it's a very ambiguous term. What we're simulating in game in terms of cleaning the asset is you are removing all the binaries and the evidence and anything that basically you have cleaner tools, right? And then and it's removing the evidence of the threat, the C2, the malware, and all of that, and replacing the asset. It's assuming that you're replacing the asset and restoring from like a known image, that sort of thing. So
Can
So
I
here's
just jump in and for
No,
those
no,
who
no.
aren't very
I'm
come on,
kidding.
let me.
denied.
For those who aren't very technical like me, so going back to something you said a moment ago, Eric, is quite relevant to how you can use the game to learn. I think you mentioned the fact on a bigger map, maybe Jerry did things in a different order to what you would in that situation. So, is there not a set standard on how to do that when you approach a big map? Is it down to an individual thing? How can you learn from the game? What learning points can we take out of that?
So it really, again, on the map, you have more assets that could be easily leveraged against you and bring down your organization, right? So if you had a smaller manufacturing location, you're not going to worry about all the doodads and bops as much as you would as your main manufacturing plant. So your attention to stuff is, definitely there. I do see that Jerry is slapped out of money. He's going to run a clean asset and be at $0.
But he's got a vulnerability assessment done, so.
But this is going to kill him for 3 turns.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Yeah, he should have requested budget ahead of time. He should have seen that because, I mean, you've got vulnerabilities identified, and you have compromised assets. You have a lot of buffs available to you to get that budget.
Yep. So, he is putting in the request budget. Okay. So disconnect clean asset, and that's going to take him out. So he is going to be disconnecting one of his switches, which is going to start affecting his P&L. His threat intel score is at 15. But Ken still has a foothold in here. He still has that one router switch, but because the server firewall has been, that one has been disconnected, but his scope and limit is very diminished right now. So how is Ken going to do? So he's going to try to expand his reach by going through the various switches, which is one of the game tactics I was playing with if I got to this level, was come in, compromise all the switches, because switches are typically the last thing that blue team will go in and secure. And, as the blue team is cleaning up their normal assets, I was going to just keep repopping devices and just keeping them busy was one of my tactics I was going to do. I don't know how well that will worked, especially in a 50 turn round, because most of my tests, it took about 60 to 70 turns to get it, but I was getting there on the testing. But anyway,
I thought that he was gathering forensics, and I don't see that. So
no, he ran out of money, right?
So, so you're not going to be able to do that. Yeah.
So he's going to reconnect that server firewall, bringing the rest of the network back up without being able to clean that asset at all, right? So Ken's going to start having visibility again here in another turn. So Ken's just trying to figure out what those 2 last assets are. James, thanks for that clarification. The forensics attempts blew up. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that.
Okay, they failed. All right. Yeah, I mean, and they can fail. That is viable in game. I mean, you're not always successful at gathering forensics.
That's correct. I can't tell you how many DFIR cases I've been on. I'm like, I have no idea how they got in here. Have a great day.
Nah. Wait a second. What's that yellow sticky right there?
Oh, it says password on it. Oh. Oh yeah, key thing for real life. Don't put passwords on the bottom of this thing. I can't tell you how many times I find that. But anyway, back to the game.
I'm pretty sure he's going to get his budget. I mean, he's out of money. If he doesn't get his budget, that is going to be the most unlucky budget roll I've ever seen, because he's had several compromises. He's got vulnerabilities identified. He's probably got the maximum budget buff right now that you can get.
Yep. So Ken is down to 1 compromised asset. Just that one Cisco router there, or switch. So now he's going to recruit hackers, something that he did not try to do last gameplay. Ken did on this turn.
He got it. I'm not surprised. He got it.
Ken has definitely had more compromised assets and things of that nature this time around. So him being able to recruit hackers will probably fare out better this time around.
You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for this game to have become so industry standard that we start hearing people talking about their actions that they do. It's like, well, you know what? Did your quarterly budget for your cybersecurity come in this year? I don't know. I don't think we had enough buffs. And when people start talking like that, I know that we've made it.
All right, mission for everybody. Let's create a conference just for ThreatGEN buffs, okay?
BuffCon.
BuffCon.
No, don't do that because then you're gonna have a bunch of like bros and bodybuilders showing up.
Oh, that would be hilarious. A bunch of big old guys come in. Oh,
You should have your own conference next year, Clint.
Actually,
Have a
if we had
conference.
BuffCon, Dave Kennedy could run that thing now because he's become pretty buff.
and just to bring it back to the game a little bit, Ken does see the DC server. He does see the Splunk server. I don't know because we have had some idle chit chat going on. If Jerry has secured those two devices, like we typically do in the industry, so Jerry did get an asset replaced over there. Do you want to go back over to blue team, sir? Because it is that turn.
I was caught up in looking at
Yep.
Ken's assets there. I
Yep.
like looking at Ken's assets. All right.
I have heard that, Clint.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a PG-13, aka Disney room, sir.
Yeah, assets were referring to the computer equipment there, obviously.
Okay. I just like to see Simon blush a little bit.
I
Because
can't.
you see him over there.
I change the tone on my camera. That might do
The
it.
top of his head, the top of his head glows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you just
does.
see him over there getting all big, all smile, like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
I keep pinching myself, so I don't.
All right, so he's got everything cleaned off there. But oh, wait a second.
Oh, what's this?
He still got it. He still. How does he still have it? He replaced that asset. Or did he clean the asset?
No, he
Either
replaced
way.
it, didn't
So
I think he did replace it.
he? Yeah, he did.
That's interesting. Maybe he thinks he cleaned it, but it's not actually clean.
Yeah,
so
maybe it
cleaning
failed.
is not 100%.
He's found it now.
Maybe there was overlapping. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Greg, Aaron, you want to jump in, fill us in there on how maybe that happened? I'm thinking maybe that Jerry thought that the asset was clean. But in other words, he was given the impression that it was cleaned because cleaning is not 100%, but it's not actually clean.
It's not. No, I'm sure. Maybe it was the other one he replaced, not that one.
Aaron, what is it? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Cleaning isn't guaranteed. So even though it gave the appearance that it was clean, it was not in fact clean. So Jerry is given the impression that it's cleaned, but it's still compromised.
It is still compromised.
And that's true to real life, right? I mean, you don't know for a fact whether or not you think you've done it. You think you've done your job, but you don't know what you don't know. That's the best way to explain it. You don't know what you don't know.
So in this game, in real world, you will start seeing, weird things happening on these devices that were still potentially compromised. In a blue team scenario where you think you have a device completely cleaned up and it shows clean on your side, how would the blue team in this game be able to redetermine that that device is actually still compromised?
Good point.
I don't know if they can actually. I think, and Aaron, you can answer this one. I think that there is essentially a re-roll every turn to see if it rediscovers it. Or good point, Alex. Threat hunting. You can also do threat hunting.
There we go. That actually is real world. So by doing threat hunting on your, okay, makes sense. That makes sense. So just so everybody knows, Jerry's not going to see these devices still being compromised without doing some sort of threat hunting, right? So,
and Aaron has confirmed that EDR will continually try to rediscover it every turn, just like I said. Okay, there we go. Going back to Ken. So, I mean, Ken has that advantage right now of he's got the router. Jerry doesn't think he has the router. Now, but what Ken is not doing is he's not researching persistence and he's not trying to be stealthy.
No.
So, is it too late for him to try and do the evade now, or?
Oh, well, we're at half the game's gone. So, at this point, it's getting to be too late to pull anything stealthy with P&L. I mean, you in this game, you want to try to be stealthy for two reasons. Number one, because you're eking your way over to the control systems for a surprise attack that they're not expecting because they don't see you there, and or B, you want to compromise a whole bunch of assets, staying hidden while you're dropping that P&L, and then boom, massive ransomware attack.
Yeah, or as David says, not too late, but he doesn't think he has the experience.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
You're being more polite though, Clint.
We are halfway through.
Which is not like me at all.
No. I was just going to say that.
We are
So I
halfway through.
suppose we should mention halfway through, for those who've just tuned in, if you want to check out and try this yourself, it's ThreatGEN.com. And if you want to see how the tournament's gone so far, this is the final game. Have a look on esports.threatgen.com.
Yep, so there it is right there. ThreatGEN.com is the official platform for the esports, the league that we have here. It's the Red versus Blue Cyber League, and this is and you can find everything at esports.threatgen.com.
I think, Aaron, I mean, that's my tactic: get in the building, get in at the network via IoT or weak user and kill them. But I don't think we're going to see that with Ken today. I think he's going to stick to his guns.
Yep. I think he feels he's so far into this gameplay and this tactic, he doesn't have the ability to pivot, I don't think. Or at least that's his mindset right now. I mean, he's kind of stuck on that one switch. I did miss a couple turns there. Sorry for my absence, but has he been trying to attack the... So it does look like he's actually researching some more devices. Trying to get more lateral by doing
so he's queuing things up. I was just looking over there. Ken is over there looking around and queuing things up. Because Jerry's just kind of going about, and he's just now doing a security awareness training. Now with 2FA in place and security awareness training in place, that's going to pretty much all but do it for any type of standard social engineering or password attacks. So at this point, Ken needs to go physical. I mean, he still has. So look, if you look at the screen here, Jerry doesn't see any of the devices that Ken still has control over. So right now is when I would say research persistence, do covert attacks. But I mean, Ken has no way of knowing right now that Jerry doesn't see him.
And just for everybody, everybody's been around here for a long time already, but just no screen sniping. Don't be telling Jerry what we're talking about or telling Ken or anything like that. So just want to make sure.
And we haven't had, we
haven't, but just to say it.
A long time ago, in the very first match ever, actually, I think between me and Jerry, there was some
tomfoolery.
There was somebody going back and forth between the streams telling Jerry what I'm doing. And we haven't had any issues since then because we buried that part. I'm just kidding. We buried that issue.
Jax mentioned that he doesn't have EDR on his machines.
Not on everything. No, he does not. No, he's got it on some of his most critical, but he does not have it on everything. I know he doesn't have it on his Splunk server, which is his SIM. I don't think he has it on his DC. I could be incorrect.
Is that because he was trying to defend the wild ride, Greg's wild ride tactic earlier?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if he was smart, he would have, because he saw that happening on the first game, and he's seen evidence because of the compromised router that he's doing.
This is going to be an interesting gameplay, Clint, because Ken is firing up to do a spearfishing attack, and at the same time, Jerry is doing his security awareness training. So,
who gets there first?
Yep. If on a network. Sorry, just reading through the chat here. At Jax, those are CRAs. I'd rather go play in traffic than deal with those. So, hats off. Literally, hats off to you, ma'am. So some of I would EDR everything. I mean, Jax, I definitely would EDR no matter if it was a big or a small map.
So it's interesting. I saw Jerry reading the manual on the internal vulnerability assessment, and then I think he just played security skills training. The reason why he's doing that is because security skills training unlocks three things: threat hunting, internal vulnerability assessment, and internal pen testing. What that means when you're doing it internally costs you less money because you can do it with people.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Ken's spearfishing attack failed then.
It did.
Yeah.
So will he do it another turn? because a lot of times, doing the first time doesn't work, doing the second time may not work, but doing 3 consecutives
That's
typically
unlucky.
get there, right? So he is doing his research. He is trying to persistently go after these devices. And I do think we are pretty much at a spot where things really did leave off, where Ken did have his foothold into some things, but just not able to really make traction into, many other devices, just like last time. So while we had to reset the game, I do think the gameplay has turned out about the same to this point.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to the point to where we could see my little trickery go off, but that's fine. But I agree that he's got another device there, but I agree that this is playing out exactly like the first one was.
Yep. Just reading through some of it. So what exactly? So Jerry is just going through. He's just assessing his vulnerabilities right now, while during his idle time, and Ken is definitely seeing what he's currently got, already acquired, for his training skills.
At this point, I think if I was Ken,
oh, Ken, why did you quit with 2 resources available? Ken is starting to make the same mistakes he made against Jerry the last time, leaving assets available to do even just basic other training, right? So if you see right here, he does not have endpoint detection. He does not have USB on his sim. That is crazy.
At this point, if I was Ken, if I was Ken, I would leave those compromised hosts out there as decoys. I would pump up my human SE, my human social engineering. I would make a run on site to try to find HMIs. I know that the HMI cheese has been nerfed, or I would get on site and plant a Trojan. I would do something on site at this point. I would leave the fact that I've got all these cyber assets compromised out there, and I would use those as decoys and make a beeline, pump up the physical social engineering, or the human social engineering, to increase my chances of bypassing the surveillance and do something on site.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think
I'm not sure what Aaron is talking about in chat there. Looks like Aaron's adding Clint to some leaders or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll follow up with that a little bit later, but maybe a comment for you there, Clint, from Aaron L.
Oh, he's got a LinkedIn group.
Oh, I think he meant thought leaders. I think he's a, yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Aaron.
So we are doing some more fuzzing. He's trying to figure out the vulnerability, which he's already got those on those. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to really pick up any other, vulnerabilities by doing that fuzzing, right? Jerry's just doing an awesome game right now, right? He's
locked down.
He's getting it more and more, right? Hopefully he starts doing the threat hunting and be able to start seeing some of those vulnerabilities. So he can further clean up his network, so Ken does not have that persistence in there like he's had so long. He does see that server router is actually there. He is going to replace it and then deactivate IR. Okay. Which, I mean, this far in the game, his P&L is not down that far. His threat intel score is at a 25. I didn't see it. Correct me in the chat here, please. Did he actually do the forensics on that switch or not? I don't think
he did. I didn't see that he did.
No.
Yeah, he just replaced it.
And Ken once again sent it back to Jerry with 3 assets available. This is crazy.
Well, yeah.
Why does he do that? Does he not? Is he just not noticing it, or does he just not know what to do?
We're going to ask him in the after party here, right? Because
when I was playing you, Eric, I got to the point where I just didn't know what to do, which is why I just threw everything at kind of the physical and social engineering side.
And it worked.
Yeah, but you'd think he'd try that, wouldn't you? I'm surprised he hasn't given that a go yet, because we've got 16 turns left. It's not many, is it?
I just, here's what I just think Ken's just not that experienced with the game, and so he doesn't realize the play mistakes that he's making. But here's the thing: he knows enough about cybersecurity to where he's trying to make intelligent choices without being experienced with the game. With you, Simon, no offense, but you're not experienced with the game or cybersecurity, so you were just throwing spaghetti at a wall until something stuck.
Absolutely.
And that turned out to be a better strategy for you, because in this case, I think Ken is actually outthinking himself.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
you're not capable of outthinking yourself, Simon.
I've never tried. I'll leave that to the intelligent people.
15 turns left, ladies and gentlemen. 15 turns left. I haven't seen any people weigh in on who they think is going to win so far. What do y'all think? What do you think? Let us know.
Yeah, me personally,
I do see a lot of comments in the chat where people are banging their head against the wall, against the desk, on rocks, over some of the wasted gameplay on by both competitors, because Jerry does have the ability to do threat hunting, and he is not fully doing it on all these devices. So it's interesting, and the fact that Ken's leaving resources available. So the veterans of the game are going nuts.
Yep.
James Driscoll thinks it'll be Jerry. I've got to say, I think it's going to be Jerry as well.
Yeah, I think based on the gameplay that I saw in the first game and based on what I'm seeing now, it looks like Jerry's got this one wrapped up. Unless he pulls, and I'm gonna call it the Simon. So if he pulls a Hail Mary spear phishing or USB drop that nails an asset with controller PLCs and gets an ICS destruction victory, I'm gonna call that move is now going to be forever called the Simon.
Love that. And Jax, can I just say thank you, Jax, for sticking up for me a bit there. I'm saying you'd throw everything against the wall as well. It's making me feel a lot better. Thank you.
No, I mean that's the exact purpose of this, right? I mean, I'm not, this game was designed for people like Simon to learn.
I completely agree. And for anyone who knows how I got into the industry, I got in through social engineering. Effectively, I'll share that story another day, but in a non-illegal way. But it's definitely. I think I read some research a few weeks ago that over 90% of successful attacks come down to a human weakness element. So it would make sense when playing the game to give that a go, wouldn't it?
And that's actually too. I shared on an AMA one time, and I still need to have my AMA on the Discord. But I told a story about actually at HughesCon as well. I told my story about how I literally social engineered my way into this industry way back in the late '90s, early 2000s. We should do a fireside chat, Simon, about how we each social engineered our way into the industry.
Yeah, I'd love that. Let me have you on my show soon. It'd be really good. We could do a ThreatGEN pitch at the end just to top it off. Look.
There's an old school, I'm not sure if it still works or not, but there used to be a Google thing where you could actually add yourself to a Google Calendar event for an interview with the CEO and just show up. What makes you good to be this job? I scheduled this interview myself.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's a thing too. That's one. Whenever I was doing red teaming full time, I mean full scale red teaming, physical, social engineering, cyber, everything. One of the tactics that we used to use to get into an organization, infiltrate an organization, was literally apply for jobs and tailor our resumes to meet that, and it's because all you have to do is get physically on site. So you only have to know you make your resume look golden, and then you only have to talk the talk enough to be able to get invited physically on site, and then we'd plant rogue devices on site.
That is amazing.
In fact, I wrote about it in my book in Hacking Exposed Industrial Control Systems, in the gray pages, which is the anecdotal stories in between each section. We talk about that on how we did that. So
where can you buy that book, Clint? Where can I buy that?
Yeah, let's say shameless plug time.
Oh, Amazon. It's an older book, but still relevant just because it's industrial control systems. But yeah, it's on Amazon. Just Google my name. You'll find my book both in English and in Chinese.
And for people who are nearly 50 with poor eyesight, is there an Audible version?
No, because there's a lot of technical information in it.
Yeah, I'm only
all the scripts and code. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be a good listen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get Will Wheaton contracted to do the Audible book.
You should. He's one of my favorite narrators on Audible, actually.
So he narrated a Ready Player One. Anyway, let's okay. Yeah. We're getting way off track here.
We are. Yeah, we'll leave that for the other show. So what's happened while we've been?
Well, this is what I like to call what happens in a football game and the last 2 or 3 minutes, whenever you already known that the Cowboys have lost and the Patriots have won. It's what you do. The commentators and the analysts start talking about all kind of other stuff, and that's kind of what's going on right here. It's like, I think we're kind of calling it. It's like, down to 12 turns left here, and Ken's got Hail Mary.
But then I will say, Clint, when I watched the replay of when you were with Jerry commentating on mine and Eric's game, I think you'd written me off at turn 20.
Well, that's right, but you turned out to be like Aaron Rodgers and throwing that bomb Hail Mary and winning the game. So
I can't see Ken making any changes here. Oh, we'll have to have a rematch, Eric, soon.
Absolutely.
Although, since you've tinkered with that, I'm struggling to get those red team victories quite so easily against the AI, Clint. I've got to be honest. Unless it's just me not being.
So you know what this strategy here that Ken is doing. You know what this reminds me of. So a little wind up car that you turn loose, and it heads towards the wall, and it runs into the wall, bounces off the wall, bounce backwards, bounce, and it goes dink, 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 dink. That's kind of the strategy we're seeing by Ken right now. He keeps hitting the firewalls and the routers over and over and over again. It's like the little wind up toy car that's going dink, dink, dink. Or a broken Roomba.
Sorry. In answer to your question quickly, Alex, I'd love a game over the weekend if you're free. That'd be great. Thank you.
Alex is wonderful at working with people and playing with them and teaching them through our Discord community, and so is David E. Actually,
they really are. They've all been, the Discord community is amazing, very supportive.
I will warn you though about Greg, the namesake of Greg's Wild Ride strategy. So Greg is our SQA analyst for ThreatGEN. It's literally his job to play the game, and he will toy with you like a cat and mouse, just dangle it out there, and then he will make you hate life. He will make you hate yourself and your kids and everything, and then he will laugh in your face. So
okay, so I'll stick with you, Alex.
I don't know, man. I would probably schedule some time with Greg's. Like, all right, show me how I can get frustrated and how I can get around this stuff. That's the part that I love. It's like, all right, let's test this thing to the max. Let's go.
We call Greg the Polish executioner.
No comment.
I'm stepping away from that. Anyway, back to the game. Jerry does have his server firewall completely isolated. So, everything inside of his infrastructure is completely off the network, except for his servers right now. He's still got that one Cisco server switch that is still running. It's still compromised. Ken has literally nothing he can do except for those two servers that he has been trying to attack, and it's unsuccessful so far.
He's doinking.
Make some malicious USBs and start dropping them. Give it a go. Come on, Ken.
So 10 turns left. Ken may be he's still trying the spearfishing attack. We'll have to see.
Jerry's running around doing threat hunting now. That's how you know he's looking for things to do. He's got stuff that needs to be hardened, but he's not worried. If you notice, he's cleaned everything off on the process control side, and he's waiting until the very end to worry about the things that are away from that process control network. In a business enterprise network, your domain control servers and everything other than that Splunk server there, nothing there is going to affect too much, and it has to do with what's critical to the business. In a regular business enterprise, the keys to the kingdom are your data servers and your user data and all of that. In an industrial system, your keys to the kingdom are your production systems, the things that make you the money, the process automation systems and all of that. And what a lot of people don't realize is that, they think that the domain controller and that centralized account management still manages all the accounts in the process control network. And it doesn't. In normal right now, and what you're seeing out there, and it shouldn't, it should be separate, is that the business enterprise systems do not manage your industrial control systems, and nor should they. Now, you can find in many cases in larger industrial control systems networks, you'll find a domain controller that it's dedicated to the process control network managing those accounts if they have their stuff together. But typically, you don't have the same management. So affecting a domain controller in an industrial organization is not going to necessarily, in most cases, won't affect your industrial control systems. So anyway, that's my.
Yeah, let's see if hopefully his spearfishing attempt will be valid. He has failed to attack the DC again still, and the EDR Splunk server. So Ken does seem to be stuck in the mud. If he doesn't get a spearfish attempt here pretty successfully, this is definitely looking like it's going to be a blue wave.
Yeah, and that's what it was looking like. It was headed that direction in the bigger map that they were playing in the game before anyway. And I kind of suspected that's what was going to happen, especially in a larger map and a longer game, which is why I wanted to throw that twist in there. And around turn 51, 52 is what I was looking at. And I really just wanted to see Jerry throw his arms up and get freaked out about the fact that he just, lost a resource due to a changing rule of the game. But I got to see that anyway whenever his network dropped or his game crashed. And so,
it was you, wasn't it, Clint?
I'm satisfied either way. Yeah, I planted a virus in his system.
So yeah, Ken definitely has lost any and all foothold that he had in the network. Jerry has definitely eradicated him from there. So right now, Jerry has an all clear scenario. I mean, not an all clear game win, but he's definitely, there's nothing in.
Unfortunately, it's a remote user. It's not going to get him anything.
Oh, I see it up there on the top left now.
Yeah, he got a remote user. That's it. That's not going to get him anything. But he needs to do it again. He needs to pull that trigger again. He needs to go for that spearfishing attack again and hopefully get lucky. Mufasa.
But what will he do? I mean, he's got all 5 resources. I thought he was going to turn for a second there.
Yeah, he's not doing. Yeah, there you go. He's doing the spearfish attack. I mean, and this is it, really. I mean, if he doesn't get it this turn, he's not going to have enough turns to do anything with it. If it takes 3 turns to get the spearfishing attack. So if he doesn't get it this turn, he's not going to have enough. He could possibly pull off another one, maybe. So I think, and with 7 turns left.
No.
He cleared out the spearfishing.
Yeah.
He should have spearfished and exfiltrated data on that workstation. Yeah. It at least started to affect the PNL.
Yeah, so he could have dropped a spearfish. If it wasn't successful, he could have dropped another one, and then it might have given him enough 1 turn left if he got lucky strike on the engineering workstation to possibly damage the ICS. But at this point, he can still do it. He still has time.
Does Alex has said he think he's connected to the PCS?
That remote user? No, because there's a DMZ. I mean, there's a VPN in the DMZ, so that means he's connected to the DMZ.
Right, got you.
Come on, what's Ken going to do, if anything, that's going to make an impact over there? Jerry's a little confident. Definitely over time is on the blue team right now, just so you know. There we go.
I got stuck reading comments.
No worries. I didn't see what he clicked on. Hopefully, he'll show his action tree.
Oh, Alex said that Jerry doesn't have a VPN up, and the 3rd octet matches.
Oh, he does not have a VPN. No. So it's quite possible that remote user could, in fact, be anywhere. And he's got a
pivot available.
Ken, leave the firewall alone. Put it down. Put the firewall down. Okay, he needs to be pivoted. Oh, the remote user logged off right now. Anyway, so that's the problem with compromising remote users and using those as pivots. They'll log in and log out on you, and you lose that as a pivot.
It's all those coffee breaks people take at home.
Speaking of which, I'm just kidding.
Did I say it loudly enough for my wife to hear, do you think?
Have you eaten all your popcorn yet, Simon?
I haven't. No, I'm waiting for this celebration at the end. Plus, I didn't want to be speaking with loads of popcorn in my teeth. It's not an attractive look, is it? Especially when you've got no hair. So.
ASMR or whatever it's called. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Oh, you should have put some temporary glue on your head and put the popcorn. You should wear like a popcorn hair.
You know what, Clint? Before you say it,
Blue team.
I saw your comment about Jerry perhaps having a different hairstyle earlier, so that's why I didn't do it.
So this is so crazy. This would drive me nuts. Freaking just now getting EDR on some of his devices. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Makes me want to go play in the traffic. But I mean, it's working though. I mean, it's crazy. Just now getting around to EDR is working for him.
Says the guy with the hair. I'm wearing a hat. Trust me. I'm losing my hair too. I've got a growing permanent natural yarmulke growing. So.
And Alex, you mentioned Simon or a mullet wig. I think I can dig out a picture of me in the early 90s with a mullet. So I'll make sure I dust that out for the next
That reminds me, every time I go to the barber, they're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. I'm just happy it's still there.
Jerry's pumping his fist. Jerry's pumping his fist. He's confident.
Yeah,
I think he has a right to be. This is we got 4 turns left, and Ken has just made some misplays here in the last part here. He's had some opportunities, but he has no way of knowing that Jerry doesn't have a VPN. He has no way of knowing that remote user could have possibly been, in the PCS. But that's what the crazy. VPN does for you. It cordons those remote users into the DMZ. Without that DMZ, those remote users could literally be in any zone at any time.
And David says Jerry can just pull the main FW plug now. What does he mean there? Main firewall plug, yeah?
Yep. So he can literally just go into the main firewall, shut it off right now into IR, and just walk away. Now, and there'll be enough turns.
Not something you want to do in real life, right? But it's a tactic you can use in game to guarantee your victory, because when you pull your firewall, you're going to cut off all access from the red team. Now your profit and loss meter is going to go down. That P&L meter is going to go down. But at this point, it's not going to go down fast enough for you to lose, because the P&L meter has to be in the red for 5 consecutive turns. So it's at that point in the game. Right. Now that just gave me an idea. I'm going to write in a condition in the game to where if you personally pull your own firewall, like with so many turns left in the game, it's automatic loss, because I don't want people doing that now.
But see, you got to make a variable. You got to make a variable if the firewall is not currently being attacked or compromised.
That's what that's what programming is. Variables and conditions.
Or as Jack says, it's like taking a knee in football. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's exactly it there. So I mean, there's 2 turns left. Yeah,
Jerry knows he won, and rightfully so. I look, honestly, I think both games, the one that Jerry's lack of technical knowledge caused the crash in. Yes, I'm throwing stones. I think that he was playing a better game there, and he's played a better game here. So Jerry's gameplay does absolutely. It deserves, if that's the way to say it, it deserves him the win. I mean, I'll have to ask the Brits there if they're for what the proper English would be.
You've got a bit of a Ferrari coming up in the chat after your comment about nixing that, Clint. See, DJ BSEC saying that's not true though. ThreatGEN, you could be taking down the firewall for maintenance.
But if I agree, however, if people start using that as a tactic to ensure their victory in the last, turns of the game, I would have to remove that from play.
Yeah. The one thing that I was waiting to see if Ken was going to do, and he didn't. He had the vulnerabilities enough on some of these devices where he was attacking them, and instead of actually trying to manipulate and gain access, start taking them, doing denial attacks, start taking devices offline.
So, sorry, I thought I was hearing Sandstorm by Darude in the music, but it's not. There's an achievement that has been suggested. There is an achievement that has been suggested, I guess a negative achievement or a kind of a fun badge, to where if you get denied budget so many times and then you deny your own firewall and take the whole network down, some sort of disgruntled person badge or achievement that you get just for being, that bastard operator. All right.
Let me know if that's a thing, because I'm going to go for that.
I want that too. I've always wanted a bastard badge. I think I've already got one.
All right, so this is going to be it. This is going to be it after this turn.
Yep. It's all but gone, ladies and gentlemen. It is over. We are taking the knee.
We're never going to live this down from Jerry, are we?
No.
What are you talking
He's
about?
going to
Never
need his
live
own
it down.
room.
Yeah, we don't. All this does is look bad for ThreatGEN because it looks like that. We just had our own person, go and wipe everybody out. So
Yep.
there it
we go.
is. Yep, that's Weather the
Ladies and
Storm.
gentlemen.
We
Well
did
done,
definitely
Jerry.
anticipate that. I gave everybody the link. We're gonna
already gave it to 'em?
Yep. So we're gonna
Great
wait
idea.
here in the chat for them, and I'm not even gonna go and look at the stats or anything like that and talk about that. If anybody wants to see the stats, go back to the video and pause it. So
Wow.
here's Ken. Sorry, it's this.
It's been a long episode, ladies and gentlemen.
This has been a really long episode compared
At
to
least
most.
you two are sitting down. I'm standing here. Look, I'm sort of flagging.
Yeah, well, I would rather be standing. This chair is hurting my butt and my back and everything else here. So,
Yeah, I thought you were jazzercising for a minute there, Simon.
I've got some headphones in, and I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a dance.
so we've got Ken back there. We're not going to let Ken back in until Jerry comes over. So feel free to say whatever you want about Ken right now.
So
can't
we'll wait till he
defend
comes
himself.
on. I just want to say quickly while I've got the chance, just a massive thanks to everyone in the chat today. I think out of all of the ones I've watched and been involved with this week, the chat's blown up. You've been super engaging, and despite the technical problems, it's been awesome. So thank you so much.
And I just want to say, those technical problems. Ken didn't have a problem logging into the game and getting it loaded and all this stuff like that. So I am blaming that on Jerry. I'm not going to let him live it down.
And we've got a question in the chat from Tammy Alexander. Is ThreatGEN for people that have never done this before?
Yes.
100%. Absolutely. I am the noob in this situation, and I've learned so much from this platform the last few months. It's unbelievable. So please check it out, ThreatGEN.com.
Now, it's not only for people who have never done this before, because this guy down here, I feel like the Brady Bunch, right? But
once we get everybody else in there, yeah.
There's we have people that are experienced playing this game, and we have people that are brand new, and it really is for everyone. All right, let's bring everybody in. So, hey, Jerry, congratulations! You are the champion. I don't care if you can't hear me.
Tell me 1 minute.
Don't give me the finger. You don't get to do that.
No. I was fixing my audio.
So wait, Jerry.
Hold on, a celebration.
All right. Anyway, so here's
What's
the deal.
up?
Congratulations, Jerry. By the way, I just want to say that what's interesting is that even though we had the hiccup with the other game, everything was playing out exactly like it was in the first game. It's not like there was a different strategy being used. It's not like there was any difference. I mean, Ken was a broken Roomba banging his head against the firewalls and the router in the very beginning, just like it was in the first game. So it's not like that caused any issues, but I think it really is interesting though that you did a random on the second game and it came up with a shorter map. It's kind of like the universe was like, yeah, you need to save some time. We're going to give you the small map there. But anyway, so let's real quick before we talk about Jerry's strategy, Ken, let's talk about it. It looked like you absolutely had the same strategy in both games. Looked like you were trying for Jerry's sloppy ride or Greg's wild ride at the end. The firewall hopping strategy at both didn't work out for you, and you pivoted. Tell us about your strategy and how and just kind of how that worked out for you.
I mean, that was the main strategy. When we had the game hiccups, I briefly thought about let me go physical, but I figured Jerry was going to change his strategy and think that I was going to change mine or something like that. It ended up we both didn't change strategies, so it sucked. I figured Jerry was gonna, that was a strategy. Greg's number one, because I didn't want Greg to get me in Discord and be like, "Hey, you didn't use it." So I did it partially for that.
You got bullied by Greg. Wow.
I did. It just happens. It's a good strategy if the defender isn't on their P's and Q's like Jerry is. I did also kind of give myself a Hail Mary, the spear phishing. So I built that up early on just in case. I knew probably about 25 whenever I went for the second set of hackers.
So you didn't know
the second
this.
time or whatever. Huh?
You didn't know this, and you had no way of knowing this. But
oh man, what did I have? Damn it.
When you got that Hail Mary, on that remote user, Jerry did not have a VPN installed, which means that
Oh.
remote user could have been in any zone. Now, we don't know what zone it was in, and it kind of moves around, but had you start doing host scanning from that pivot, it's quite possible you could have found a control device.
Man, and I told you, dude, and I totally ignored it because I was like, whatever, he's got that stuff hardened. I'm not, I'm not going to keep that thing long.
Yeah, you
dang it.
potentially had
Yeah.
something there. You potentially had
Dang it.
something. You just didn't know what you had.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, talk about your strategy
Yeah. So
other than rebooting your browser.
yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. What a great strategy, wasn't that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Oh,
Jerry.
this doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it's
My
going my
browser
way.
doesn't work, right? Yeah.
Control F5. Yeah. No, no. So the strategy was basically I wanted to basically, to me, there's a couple fundamental strategies that a raid team can use. So I wanted to buff up minor defenses against each of those strategies. So I did, the network segmentation, the video cameras, and then the security the two-factor authentication. And I'm thinking, okay, like at least now I've got a base against the main attack vectors. And then I started hardening the firewalls, thinking, okay, if he's gonna get in, right? Like I can try to stop it as much as I can, but it's not if, it's when, right? Like that's so burned out in our industry. So I was like, okay, let me protect all the firewalls and at least compartmentalize them, and then start shaking up the OT. I don't know if you guys saw this, and Ken, I don't know if you noticed it, but like as you were compromising my IT infrastructure, I was letting it go, 1, 2, even 3 turns long at some points before I activated IR, just to continue to basically put a bunch of walls up while this side of the house is on fire. I'm like carpentry over here, like still building the barn while it's on fire. So it definitely worked out. Ken put up a great fight. That server firewall, man, it was like I just want to yeet it out the window. Like it must be like a juniper or something like that.
It was that that was his
interesting.
broken Roomba strategy. Doink, 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 doink.
It was,
It
yeah.
was very
well,
interesting to see you, Jerry, where you were not putting up EDR or anything on your critical server infrastructure. So, like your SIM, you didn't put any EDR or anything like that right until the end. What made you hold off putting off that stuff?
So I did put EDR on. So the zone of end users I ignored completely. Like at the end, I was just putting it on there just to have something to do. And then the IT infrastructure zone, I actually thought about this, or was having a conversation. Like basically, when the SIM gets compromised, you lose all EDR visibility. So if the SIM has EDR on it and it gets compromised, how can it notify you that it's compromised, right? So to me, there's with all due respect to the game developers, there's no value in putting the EDR on the SIM because it will never work, right? So I was hardening around the network devices. To be honest with you, 50 turns, I believe, is very difficult to get a P&L win. P&L win. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Ken's only option is an HMI victory. So I need to harden this thing, basically put up multiple walls on his way and then set up detections in the areas that would traverse to the HMI. So the IT infrastructure, while it is valuable, I made a decision if it got halfway through the yellow, I would pivot and start, I'd be like, okay, he's definitely trying to get this P&L win. I've got to clean up this assets now. But I basically told corporate, guys, just chill out. Take a long weekend, go hit some golf balls. I got this. And then,
Go to a cabaret.
Yeah.
So you have a really good point there, Jerry, in that the EDR would be useless on a SIM, and that was a bit of a commentator mistake that we were making in that the EDR would not be useful on the SIM. So the way that you would detect SIM compromises is just to periodically threat hunt that thing.
Well, and I did that actually.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I did threat hunting, and another really banger value that I didn't realize, I did threat hunting exclusively so I could look at that SIM because I didn't see any compromised assets for a long time. Turn 25, 30, and I'm like, holy shit, Ken might. Oh, sorry. I'm like,
what good is a beep to now?
I said Ken might be on something, and that's how he's getting to the server firewall because he's got
that eerie silence, right?
Yeah,
that eerie
so
silence.
I worked all the way up. It's very expensive, very time consuming to get threat hunting. But the benefit that I had no idea about is when you're in IR, you have so many limited options to do, and it feels like you're wasting your resources. But you can threat hunt all over the place while you're turning IR down. So to me, that's my main tenet is resource utilization to the max. So I love that. I'm all about threat hunting now.
Hey, see, you know what? Hey, look, there's a perfect use case right there. You know, you had someone set in his ways on the way that things are supposed to be done and didn't find usefulness of certain things. And we've heard Jerry change his mind twice in 2 days. Yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday. He didn't think password attacks were that useful on the red team side. And ever since he discovered Greg's Wild Ride, he has now found a new love for password attacks. And now we're hearing him talk about his new love for threat hunting. So Jerry's becoming a purple teamer.
Hey, listen.
Yay!
Okay, hey, listen, let me tell you, and everybody should hear this, and everybody should know this, right? Like, no one's going to know everything in this industry, so you got to be humble. You got to stay hungry. You got to listen to other people. If the only voice you're hearing is your own, you're not learning anything new.
Echo. So, any final thoughts there, Ken, on, things you would have done different? I mean, I really hope you stick around and play the league in 2023. We're getting the rules and kind of the logistics finalized. There's going to be a lot of different logistics because instead of having a tournament where we all know each other and it's an honor system, we're going to have some new logistics and stuff like that, just to let everybody know. And we will publish that soon. As soon as we have those out, it's going to be on you can follow everything and get information on esports.threatgen.com. However, getting back to Ken, I hope you stick around. But, number one, are you going to stick around? Huh? Are you?
Well, I mean, there's still, since Jerry won, I've still got to wait to see Simon in a boy band outfit from the 90s. So I have to, right?
I've got the outfit down here, Ken.
These were things we were talking about in the green room, by the way, everybody. So we had some green room chat. So I apparently owe Jerry
tacos.
a fake metallic $1 million bill from Amazon. That I owe Jerry one of those now, and so we have to have in-sync Simon over there.
As soon as there is a trophy for this tournament, and I'm going to have it proudly displayed.
Yeah, there's a plaque. So now that you won, there's a plaque.
Oh, come on! Like
there
Eric
is now. There is now.
Eric would replace that backpack in the back with this thing. Trust me.
Yeah. Hey, in all fairness, Eric, you knew there was as a sponsor, you knew there was a plaque that was going to be purchased. By the way, there's also challenge coins being produced that anyone who's ever played in an online match at ThreatGEN will get the red versus blue challenge coins. In fact, not you, Simon. I'm just kidding. So, Jerry, I mean, so throughout your experience here, going back to Ken, is there any tactics you would do differently? What would you do differently knowing what you know now?
Well, number one, the asset of the laptop I had compromised, I would have seen where that went. The other thing I think is after we had the hiccups in the first one, I would have actually pivoted my strategy to just go all in physical to try to get in there on the HMIs. So I think that would have been the change I would have made.
Yeah, I think we were even saying that. We were like, go physical now, go physical.
Yeah. I didn't get your text though, man. Your text got blocked. I didn't get that when you it's a bummer.
Jerry hacked my phone. Jerry, what about you, man? So I mean, you've had a wild ride. No pun to Greg there, but you've had a wild ride from start to finish. You've got a chance to play blue and red, and you've learned some new techniques. You've learned some on both sides. What would you say? If you had to do this all over again, would you do anything different? Would you, or do you feel like that you're pretty satisfied with your gameplay? I mean, yes, you won, but I mean, would you do anything different?
Yeah, no, I'm satisfied with my gameplay, obviously, but I think, explore, like, actually, I played a bunch to prepare and stuff like that, but I feel like I was playing the same strategy and just trying to, like, tweak the strategy around resource use and the order in which I was doing certain things, like do I do policies and procedures first, or do I try to get the EDR deployed and then, but really should step back and do things like threat hunting. Like I've never done pen testing in this game, but it would be interesting to explore those features and then really try to feel out what the value is. So, I guess that's what I would recommend and what I will do when I have to inevitably defend my crown to the horde that will be coming for it.
Yeah, this one is first in line. This one's first in line.
Hey, it's not my fault we got drawn on the opposite ends of the bracket and I never saw you. Never saw you.
Hey,
I'm
so
fine.
just real quick, somebody was asking from chat, how do they apply for a match?
Yeah.
Somebody wants. If you go to eSports, I was posting the link there while we were talking. eSports.threatgen.com. All the way at the bottom of the page, you can leave your email address there, and that is going to get you entered in. Basically, you'll receive information about the upcoming league and how to apply. But the league will be open to apply for anybody can apply to be a team, and one of the ways that we're going to do it is this: you can do it as a single individual, or you can have a group of up to 5 people be part of that team and huddled around the little computer screen while you're playing. But but either way, we'll have more information posted as soon as that's available. So go to esports.threatgen.com if you want to apply to be in the league, and not only that, it's not just the league, right? We're going to have several opportunities for exhibition matches and things like that. So, guys, any final thoughts from anyone? This has definitely been a wild ride all week. This was a world first to hold this type of a cybersecurity competition online, aggregating feeds. And I really think that this has been really fun and really interesting. Any final comments about anything, the matches, the production, and then I've got some final announcements. So anything?
I mean, that Clint guy messed it all up, but aside from that, I think it was a good tournament, good competition. But Clint, if we can get rid of that Clint guy, I think we'll all be good next time.
Stop picking on the old people, man.
I have one final thought. Let me see if I can make this happen the way I need it.
Well, while you're doing that, Gerald, if I can just say, if I can.
I'm sorry. Jerry's feed just completely dropped. What? As soon as he started playing Queen, he just copyright issue. That's exactly what happened. He got dropped due to a copyright violation.
Can I just jump in quickly, Jerry? You got bumped then, my friend. Good song though. I just want to say a massive thank you to Clint, Jerry for hosting the tournament, and a massive thanks to all the competitors who've been involved, and a thank you for me for being invited to come and help Shoutcast. It's been so much fun and had lots of fun engaging with the audience as well. So thank you.
And Simon, by the way, Simon did all our intro videos and our outros and our logo stingers and everything. So great job on those. So our production team in the front that you see, Simon was both the front and the back production team, and on the back end we had Greg and Aaron running, the development, the support, and the testing, and all of that. And thanks to our beta testers. So, on the back end, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the back end to make this entire production happen. There was a lot of people involved making this happen. We're just the ugly faces that you see up front, but there was a lot of people that made this happen, and especially also thanks to our sponsors who put up some cash to help make all this happen, and be able to purchase the things we need to purchase to do all this. So that's Barricade Cyber Solutions and Simply Cyber. So, and of course, to everyone else, thank you to our audience, because if we didn't have an audience, we wouldn't have a sports league. We'd have a bunch of people playing, with ourselves. You want spectators, right? What was it in American Pie? You want a partner, don't you? Anyway, so anyway, Eric, any final thoughts from you?
I'm just glad
that's a good place to leave
American
it, right?
Pie and didn't go to the flute comment. I'm just glad about that.
Oh gosh. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's probably where we need to leave it. So you know what, everybody? This has been the very first ever Red versus Blue Cyber League tournament. It was the 2022 Invitational, kicking off the 2023 Red versus Blue Cyber League that will be kicking off with more information soon. So this was a wild ride. We had a lot of fun. This was a great experiment, and I think it was pretty successful. So on that note, everybody, thanks. Take care, and we will see you soon. Take care.